Hi, today I'm going to cover the gang called Cleaver. Now, they were out of Chicago in 1928 when Al Capone and all of them were very busy making lots of money. And they were a minor, but they did have one claim to fame, and that was they had staged a sensational bank meal train robbery at Evergreen Park. It was just outside the city limits of Chicago. As of this day, the last of this daring band that blasted open the doors of a Grand Trunk meal train with dynamite, cowed the postal clerks with threats of death, frightened passengers into submission, and fled with bags of money were sentenced yesterday to 25 years in Leavenworth Penitentiary. Virgil Letzinger, debonair, bad man of Brighton Park, who recently was acquitted of the murder of his former saloon partner, and John Red Flannery, heard the verdict in federal court, which will send them to join other pals now in confinement. At Leavenworth, they will join Wild Bill Donovan, Frank Bozo Messiah, and Lawrence Leary O'Brien, who pleaded guilty to become a government witness against their leader, Charles Limpy Cleaver. Cleaver was sentenced to 25 years in the Atlanta Penitentiary. Two others who participated in the Holyoke, Willie Jackson and Louis Perdezenek, are dead. Jackson was taken for a ride by gangsters while Perdezenek met his death when shot by a policeman trying to hold up someplace on the south side. Now, then you get into a state representative who had represented Chicago for many years. Apparently, he was into some of the bad things that the gangs were, and he used his home as a hideout for the gang while they were trying to keep their police out of their way. Now, he spent 2 years in jail, got out of jail, opened up a restaurant, and died about 10 years later. The arrest of Cleaver and members of the gangs was accomplished by the government agents after working weeks on the investigation, tapping of the telephone wires in the leader's home, and the statements from Charles Warden. So they went to jail for about 25 years. But while they were in, this is an additional note I found, that while they were waiting for the trial and they were in the jail, Charles Limpy, as he's called, led an escape, and they successfully escaped out of a jail in 1928 by using a can of condensed milk to knock the guard unconscious. They were recaptured, obviously, but he was a bad man. I couldn't find anything about what happened to him, anything else, but the gang was done in 1928.